mess up my. Alright. It's side flip. And you cancel the flip. I think I did it. Oh, he doesn't got that. Oh yeah. Thanks, buddy. Appreciate that. No. Or not demo him.
You streaming? You streaming?
Yeah.
And you want to know why I always put and close one by one?
Why?
Because you want to know what I found in the laundry basket?
What?
A Xbox 360 controller.
How? Oh yeah.
You gotta be careful, broski.
It's probably from the end of our bed.
Okay, why would I ever touch an Xbox 360 controller?
Oh man. No man. That's alright. It's gonna slam it on. No. No way. Haha. Womp womp. horrible recovery. I'm gonna make you watch every single one. Oh. Too slow. Dummy. Damn. All right. Dunked on, bitch. Still no boost, bitch. Where's my demo? Oh no. Did not realize we started one so soon. More points. Oh man. Nope.
What? Not
No.
a mom that has a boy and is so obsessed with their son that they don't want them to date. That's like what I, yeah, when I'm saying a boy mom, that's what I'm saying. They're really, really good. People think you're just not stupid. Think so? They didn't ask. Actually, you do that for me.
Thank God.
Tyler.
Still on my side?
What's it called?
Yeah, he's not doing anything with that.
I'm scared of it. I'm gonna see. Whatever. Here you. Let's see. Let's see. That's so loud. I'm scared. That's so loud. I'll wait for tomorrow. Oh my God.
It's not looking too hot for you, buddy.
They shit themselves, Brady.
I'm gonna be reenacting ages 1 through 22. You can come and watch too.
I got distracted.
Where's the drink?
What?
Where's the drink?
Huh?
Where's the drink?
Look on our light.
Huh?
Our light?
Our drink.
Look on our light.
Look on our light.
Look on our light.
Oh, I see it. That's a bad place.
Huh?
Yeah.
It's off the floor. This guy should just forfeit, babe.
You're cooking them.
I am.
You streaming?
Yes.
I think I already asked you that.
Last time I wasn't.
Oh my God.
See that bar down? You couldn't defend that last time either. He wants to see it. Buddy. He looks like he's a good player, though.
You're cooking little kids out here.
Mm-hmm. Oh. Oh, he was a gold.
Do you want me to reenact Oedipus the King?
We
Like-
can. I was gonna take off my headphones and we could listen to it if you wanted.
Or I can reenact the pages.
I just lag so hard.
Yeah, let me see it.
Hmm.
Okay, ready?
Yeah.
This is the, I forgot what it's called. Kind of like the exposition, if you will. Telling you kind of what's going on.
Yeah. Explaining
is-
the story of what's happening, what the half is.
Yeah, and I will also say their names unless it's obvious who's talking.
Okay.
Background note. I don't know what that says. Sophocles was a famous... I butcher that. People on your stream, I don't know.
It's okay. No
Actually,
such thing.
People who are watching you stream playing Rocket League will not know what Oedipus King is, so it's okay.
You don't think so?
Sophocles was a famous and successful Athenian writer. Athenian writer of tragedies in his own lifetime. I'm gonna skip that because I looked at the writer. So here is the actual exposition. Oedipus, a stranger to Thebes, became king of the city after the murder of King Laius, about 15 or 16 years before the start of the play. He was offered the throne because he was successful in saving the city from the Sphinx, an event referred to repeatedly in the text of the play. He married Laius's widow, Jocasta, and had 4 children with her. 2 sons, Eteocles and Polynices, in $2. And Antigone, and Ismene. Those are his children's names. They're not important.
Okay.
Until like the end of the play, which we're not even reading. Okay, here we go. I will now be acting this out for you. Oedipus. So I'm just gonna say their name and then their line.
Okay.
Oedipus, king of Thebes, priest, the high priest of Thebes, Creon, Oedipus's brother-in-law, chorus of Theban elders, Tiresias, an old blind prophet, boy, attendant on Tiresias, I'm stupid, Tiresias, Jocasta, wife of Oedipus, sister of Creon, messenger, an old man, servant, an old shepherd, second messenger, a servant of Oedipus, Antigone, daughter of Oedipus and Jocasta, a child, Ismene, daughter of Oedipus and Jocasta, a child, servants and attendants on Oedipus and Jocasta. So, like, those were all the characters.
Okay.
Do you want to read them again?
Sure.
So Oedipus is the king of Thebes.
Oedipus is the king of thieves.
Priest is the priest of Thebes.
Priest. Okay.
Creon is Oedipus's brother-in-law.
Mm-hmm.
The chorus are Theban elders. Tiresias is an old blind prophet. Blind is important. Boy is an attendant of Tiresias. Jocasta is wife of Oedipus, sister of Creon. Messenger is an old man. Servant, an old shepherd. Second messenger, a servant of Oedipus. And then his stupid children. I'm not saying their names again.
Alright.
So, the action takes place in Thebes in front of the royal palace. The main doors are directly facing the audience. There are altars besides the doors. A crowd of citizens carrying laurel branches, decorated with wool and led by a priest, has gathered in front of the altars, with some people sitting in the altar steps. Oedipus enters through the palace doors. Okay, now I'm Oedipus. My children, latest generation born from Cadmus, why are you sitting here with what? With wreath sticks in supplication to me, while the city fills with incense, chants, and cries of pain. Children, it would not be appropriate for me to learn of this from any other source. So I have come in person, I, Oedipus, whose fame all men acknowledge. But you there, old man, tell me, you seem to be the one who ought to speak for those assembled here. What feelings bring you to me? Fear or desire? You can be confident that I will help. I shall assist you willingly in every way. I would be a hard-hearted man indeed if I did not pity suppliants like these. Then the priest says, Oedipus, ruler of my native land, you see how people here of every age.
I made it to gold.
And then it gives you a little footnote that Cadmus was the legendary founder of Thebes, hence the citizens of Thebes were often called children of Cadmus or Cadmeans.
So the children of Thebes were often called Cadmeans.
Yeah, but that isn't too important. But anyways,
Okay.
continuing from the priest. You see how people here of every age are crouching down around your altars, some fledgling barely strong enough to fly, and others bent by age, with priests as well. For I'm priest of Zeus, and these ones here, the pick of all, are youth. The other groups sit in the marketplace with suppliant branches, or else in front of palaces' two shrines of where Ismenu's prophecies with fire. For our city, as you yourself can see, is badly shaken. She cannot raise her head above the depths of so much surging death. Disease infects fruit blossoms in our land. Disease infects our herds of grazing cattle, makes women in labor lose their children, and deadly pestilence, that fiery god, swoops down to blast the city, emptying the house of Cadmus, and fills black Hades with groans and howls. These children and myself now sit here by your home, not because we think you're equal to the gods. No, we judge you, the first of men, in what happens in this life, and in our interactions with the gods. For you came here to our Cadmean city and freed us from the tribute we were paying to that cruel singer, and yet you knew no more than we did, and had not been taught in their stories. The people testified how the gods helped you gave us back our lives. How, with God's help, you gave us back our lives. Oh, wait. So now, Oedipus, our king, most powerful in all men's eyes, we're here as suppliants, all begging you to find some help for us, either by listening to a heavenly voice or by learning from some other human being. For in my view, men of experience provide advice that gives the best results. So now, you best of men, rise up our state. Oh, it continues. Act to consolidate your fame for now. Thanks to your eagerness in early days, the city celebrates you as its savior. Don't let our memory of your ruling here declare that we were first set right again and later fell. No, restore our city, so that it stands secure in those times past you brought us joy, and without good omens too. Be that same man today if you're to rule as you are doing now. Better to be king in a land of men than in a desert. An empty ship or city wall is nothing if no men share a life together there. Oh, man. This guy's a fucking yapper. Holy shit.
Seriously. All I hear is yap. That was the priest guy talking?
Yes. Not
Okay.
Oedipus. That was
Good.
the priest.
See, I'm listening.
I hope so. There's only been 2 people talking so far. Because I'm just nervous because does she want, I don't know, like, this might not be the document that she has.
I feel like it would have to be. And
There's
I mean,
so many out there.
we would just tell her that her thing wasn't working.
I don't know. Because, like, there's no...
One thing for it. Or,
yeah,
well,
there's, like, so many different things that it could be. And also, there's, like, no Act 1, Act 2. I thought there was.
What's so?
I'm looking at her.
So this? He's got
Okay, I'm just gonna start from the beginning of this one because they translated it differently.
okay.
But still same
Characters and everything.
same characters, same situation, like so people outside of the kingdom, whatever. So Oedipus, children, young sons and daughters of old Cadmus. Why do you sit here with your suppliant crowns? The town is heavy with a mingled burden of sounds and smells and of groans and hymns and incense. I did not think it fit that I should hear of this from messengers, but came from myself. Oedipus, whom all men call the great. You're old and they are young. Come, speak for them. What do you fear or want? That you sit here, tend suppliant. Indeed, I'm willing to give all that you may need. I would be very hard should I not pity suppliants like these. I'm gonna skip what the priest said because I read all that earlier, but essentially the priest is saying, please, Oedipus, help us. Essentially.
Okay.
We respect you. Next. Also, suppliant crowns are wreaths worn by people who ask favors of the gods.
Okay.
Oedipus, I pity you, children. You have come full of longing, but I have known the story before you told it, only too well. I know you are all sick, yet there is not one of you sick. Yet there is not one of you, sick though you are, that is as sick as myself. Your several sorrows each have single scope and touch but one of you. My spirit groans for city and myself and you at once. You have not roused me, like a man from sleep. Know that I have given many tears to this, gone many ways wandering in thoughts. But as I have thought, I found only one remedy, and that I took. I sent Menetius, son Creon, Jocasta brother, to Apollo, to his Pythian temple, that he might learn there by what act or word I could save the city. As I count the days, it vexes me that what ails him, he is gone, far longer than he needed for the journey. But when he comes, then may I prove a villain if I shall not do all the god commands. Basically, he said, I'll see if I can help you when Creon gets back, because I sent him on a mission, but he's taking forever.
Okay.
Also, I don't know, she gave us literally the hardest reading of this text that she could find. Because there are so many, like, literally the original playwright is easier to read than this.
What the fuck?
It's so frustrating.
Why?
And all the lines are numbered. Like, it's like 45, 46, 47, 48. And it's so hard to look at.
What the fuck?
And the word choice is just horrible.
Oh, I've heard.
And then the priest says, thanks for your gracious words. Your servants here signal that Creon is this moment coming. Oedipus, his face is bright. O holy Lord Apollo, grant that his news too may be bright for us and bring us safety. Priest, It is happy news. I think for else his head would not be crowned with springs. Hello.
You guys have the coolest room.
Yeah.
Like, look at that computer. Look at that. Look how cool that is.
I see my dinosaurs.
What?
I have dinosaurs.
You have dinosaurs?
Mm-hmm.
You're rar. There's a dinosaur. That's dinosaurs.
Mm-hmm.
Is he absorbing anything you're reading to him?
Oedipus.
It's Oedipus.
Oedipus. Okay,
Um,
is this like related to Oedipus Rex?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
this is the next one.
It's
And when he
mean-
becomes king?
yeah.
No?
Like I've only read Oedipus the King, but
I've only read Oedipus Rex.
So I don't know what is what, because whenever I tried to look up Oedipus the King, Oedipus Rex popped up.
Yeah.
So I don't know which one came
I think
first.
Rex came first. I
Okay.
think. But we need to research this. Because I read it, it was really good.
In Oedipus the King, he basically is like the king of Thebes,
Yeah.
but then he fulfills his prophecy of like doing that dumb shit, and then he gets married.
I had a question.
Hmm.
So the little drawers, the sparkly bits,
Yeah,
are those actually drawers?
yeah. I put my jewelry in here.
What? That's so cool!
I know. I love that.
I love that too.
When I
What's
saw
Tyler
this,
put on his side? Or do you just have both of them?
no, he
I
has,
would do both.
He has
Oh, look
like,
at that! That's so cool!
yeah. I mean, he has just a bunch of his trinkets in there. I guess is a good word to use.
That is so cool. Because, like, in our nightstand, so, like, up here,
As I suspect,
this
it's not
part
a
is
pleasant
a
illness,
drawer.
but not untreatable either.
Is
Have
this
your
a drawer
scientists
too? No.
research the cure, then
But,
use
like,
their
yeah,
PhD
so this
to
part
deliver that
is like,
cure
it's
by
like,
diamond.
hidden drawer.
Sounds like
I
a
like
plan.
that.
I just
It
hope
looks
that
like part of
Cabot
the
Jr. is
frame.
better with
Like,
needles than I am.
Yeah. Okay. I have to go drag my husband out of the damn bathtub. Love you.
Love you.
I love you. Love you. You guys have a good Easter?
Yeah.
Easter bunny was nice?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I love that bitch.
Okay, great. That's the research complete. Now let's get that dinosaur cured. Assign an MVU team to a nearby ranger post stat.
So the priest says, it is
Patrolling
happy news.
MVU
I think
teams
for
will
else his head would
automatically
not be
scan
found
and
with sprigs
diagnose
of
minor
fruitful laurel.
issues. Major issues?
Sprigs of fruitful laurel means
over a
laurel
trip to a
symbolize
paleomedical
triumph.
facility.
The crown of laurel signified good news. Sure, man. So basically the priest is saying Creon's back and he has good news.
Okay.
Oedipus says, we will know soon. He's within hail. Lord Creon, my good brother, what is the word you bring us from the god? Creon enters. Creon says,
Where all this
a
glitter
good
come
word
from?
for things hard to bear themselves, if in the final issue as is well. I count complete good fortune. Oedipus says, what do you mean? What have you said so far? That's what I'm saying, Oedipus. That's what I'm fucking saying. Oh wait. What have you said so far leaves me uncertain whether to trust or fear. Creon says, if you will hear my news before these others, I am ready to speak or else to go within. Oedipus says, speak it to all, the grief I bear more for these than my own here.
You know, I was
And it's
worried
spelled here
there
as
for a
in like
second,
hearing
but
something, not
Cabot
like
Jr.
here
is completely
place.
cured.
So I don't understand.
Where's my...
Wait a
Good night,
second.
everybody.
Good night.
Good night, love ya.
Bob?
Oh, your bathroom's clean,
how
too.
I missed that man.
Holy shit.
We worked together for years.
It's like sparkly clean.
My name's George. The Lambert's
Who
fine.
did that?
Dr. Dua told me about Dan.
Okay.
I love you.
She's suggesting some things you should advise.
And then Creon says, I will tell you then what I heard from the god.
It seems that the
King
situation
Thetis.
at our Montana site
Thetis?
has changed.
Phoebus, in plain words, commanded us to drive out a pollution from our land. Pollution grown ingrained within the land. Drive it out, said the god, not cherish it till it's past cure. Oedipus says, what is the rite of purification? How shall it be done? Creon says, by banishing a man for expiation of blood by blood, since it is murder guilt, which holds our city in this destroying storm. Oedipus says, who is this man whose fate the god pronounces? Creon says, my lord, before you piloted the state, we had a king called Laius. Oedipus says, I know of him by hearsay. I have not seen him. Creon says, the god commanded clearly, let someone punish with force this dead man's murderers. So, basically, Creon is saying, we have to banish someone in order for this famine to go away for our country, like for our place. And he's like, okay, Oedipus is like, okay, who are we banishing?
Dad told me to come get a star sticker.
It just ate a human.
You see this? I might need two.
I alert people. Fetch, it's time to prove that Dan cares about security. Right. The guests and me need somewhere to hide. Build an emergency shelter.
Heard. Build.
A fine-looking tiny hole there.
Basically,
Now open
Creon
up the shelter.
said
Put out
the
the
news
alert.
that he brought back when he talked to the gods
Raptors
is that
can be a tricky
they have to
target on the
banish
best of days,
someone
so
who
I suggest letting the
killed
probes
their
do their thing.
previous king.
Give the capture team the task to
And,
tranquilize those dinosaurs and put a stop to the rampage.
That's how they will have to like stop their famine and poverty within where they live.
How do they stop that?
By banishing a man
Yeah, yeah.
that killed their previous king.
Okay.
And Oedipus is the king now, and he did not know Laius. He was just made king, and he just heard of Laius in like passing by conversations.
And Laius was that previous king, you said.
Mhm.
Okay. Is Oedipus worried at all?
Why would you be worried?
I don't know. He's the new king?
They have to banish the man that killed the previous king.
Those
Oh,
dinosaurs won't be waking up anytime soon. but
Creon
we better
says, the
have an
god
enclosure
commanded
ready for when
clearly,
they do.
let someone punish with
We
force
do have
this
a
dead
half-built
man's
enclosure
murderers.
on site that
Oedipus says,
probably
where
do the
are
job.
they?
You
Where
can,
are they in the world?
finish it up.
Where would a trace of this old crime be found? It would be hard to guess where. And that's another thing, is like, this happened a long time ago. So, they gotta figure out this really is the case. Creon says, the clue is in this land. That which in sought is found. The unhealed thing escapes. So said the god. Oedipus says, was it at home, or in the country that death came upon him, or in another country traveling? Creon says, he went, he said himself, upon an embassy, but never returned when he set out from home. Oedipus says, was there no messenger, no fellow traveler who knew what happened? Such a one might tell something of use. So basically, they know that Laius, the previous king, went on a trip, like an expedition, and that's where he was killed. So this could be literally anywhere. Creon says, they were all killed save one. He fled in terror, and he could tell us nothing in clear terms of what he knew, nothing, but one thing only. Oedipus, what was it? If we could find a slim beginning in which to hope, we might discover much. Creon, this man said the robbers they encountered were many, and the hands that did the murder were many. It was no man's single power. Oedipus says, how could a robber date a deed like this? Were he not helped with money from the city, money and treachery? Creon says, that indeed was thought, but Laius was dead in our trouble. There was no one to help. Oedipus says, what trouble is so great to hinder you, inquiring out the murder of your king?
Creon says, the riddling Sphinx induced us to neglect mysterious crimes and rather seek solution of troubles at our feet. So basically, they said that when Laius was first killed, he did have like messengers and people with him, but they were all killed besides one guy. And this guy ran back in fear. And they were questioning him, basically saying like, what happened? And the only thing that he could really tell him was that it was multiple people that killed the group of people. And then Oedipus is basically like, you couldn't question him more? Like, what are you guys doing? That was your king. And Creon's just like, that wasn't a priority. Like, that's not, like, figuring we need to face the troubles at hand rather than questioning this guy over
Who killed the previous king?
I don't know.
Okay.
Wait, what?
Who killed the previous king? Like, they're like, why aren't we worrying about this guy who killed the king? And they're saying because there's problems at hand. There's bigger problems or whatever?
He's not I mean, yeah, like, basically saying, like, that it happened, that we should not be investigating mysterious crimes. Because the gods told them not to. Because it says, the riddling Sphinx induced us to neglect mysterious crimes and rather seek solution of troubles at our feet. So focus on troubles that are actually in front of you rather than something that happened way out there. You need to focus on what's in front of you.
Mm-hmm.
So Oedipus says, I will bring this to light again. Again. King Phoebus fiddling took this care about the dead. And you too fittingly. And justly you will see in me an ally, a champion of my country and the god. For when I drive pollution from the land, I will not serve a distant friend's advantage. But act in my own interest. Whoever he was that killed the king may readily wish to dispatch me with his murderous hand, so helping the dead king I help myself. Come, children, take your suppliant bows and go. Up from the altars now, call the assembly and let it meet upon the understanding that I'll do everything. Yeah, I'll do everything. God will decide whether we prosper or remain in sorrow. Priest says, rise, children. It was this we came to seek, which of himself the king now offers us, a Phoebus who gave us the oracle. Come to our rescue and stay the plague. And then the chorus leaves. The chorus says, Strophe, what is the sweet spoken word of God from the shrine of Pytho rich in gold that has come to glorious Thebes? I am stretched on the rack of doubt and the terror of trembling hold my heart, O Delian healer, and I worship full of fears for what doom you will bring to pass, new or renewed in the revolving years. Speak to me, immortal voice, child of golden hope. Antistrophe? First I call on you, Athene, deathless daughter of Zeus. Athena? What was Athena? Athene, deathless daughter of Zeus, and Artemis, earth upholder, who sits in the midst of the marketplace and the throne, which men call fame, and Phoebus, the far shooter, three averters of fate. Come to us now, if ever before, when ruin rushed upon the state, you drove destruction fame away out of our land. Stroke. Our sorrows defy number. All the ship's timbers are rotten. Taking a thought is no spear for the driving away of the plague. There are no growing children in this famous land. There are no women bearing the pangs of childbirth. You may see them with another, like birds swift on the wing, quicker than fire, unmastered, speeding alike the coast of the western god. Jesus Christ. Antistrophe. In the unnumbered death of its people the city dies. Those children that are born lie dead of the naked earth, unpitied, spreading contagion of death and gray-haired mothers and wives. Everywhere stand at the altar's edge, softly moaning. The hymn to the healing God brings out, but with the wailing voices are blended. From these our sufferings grant us, O golden daughter of Zeus. Glad face deliverance. Strophe. There is no clash of brazen shields, but our fight is with the war of God. With the war god. How much longer?
Can I be honest?
Yeah.
What they're saying right now is not important. I'm reading words at this point. It has no importance to the story. A war god rings with the cries of men, a savage god who burns us. Grant that he turn in racing course backwards out of our country's bounds to the great palace of Amphitrite, of where the waves of the Thracian sea denied the stranger safe anchorage.
Nice job.
Whatsoever escapes at night, at last the light of day revisits. So smite the war god, Father Zeus, beneath your thunderbolt. For you are the lord of lightning, the lightning that carries fire. Antistrophe, and your unconquered arrow shafts winged by the golden corded bow. Lycian king, I beg to be at our side for help in the gleaming torches of Artemis, with which she scours the Lycian hills. And I call on the god with the turban of gold, who gave his name to the country of ours, the Bacchic god with the wind-flushed face, Evian one who travel with the Maenad company, combat the god that burns us, with your torch of pine, for the god that is our enemy is a god unhonored among the gods. Jesus fucking Christ. None of what they just said has any importance to anything. And it was like 2 pages of just bullshit, of just words. I don't know what strophe means, I don't know what anti-strophe means. I don't care. It has nothing to do with the story. Jesus Christ. That pissed me off. I think what they were trying to say is, like, all of these gods, if there's another god that is deceiving us, kill him.
Yeah.
I guess. Like, that's the only thing I could possibly think of. But useless information. Disgusting. I hate you. And the fact that she chose this one for us to read is pissing me off.
Yeah.
Because it's genuine. It's supposed to be literature 101. Give us the original playwright. You fucking bitch. Oh my god. Oedipus says, for what you asked me... Okay, so I guess no. I guess they're basically asking Oedipus, like, please use all of these powers. Like, I don't know. They're asking Oedipus to basically save them, I guess. I don't know.
Okay.
For what you asked me, if you would hear my words, and hearing welcome them and fight the plague, you will find strength and lightning of your load. Hark to me, what I say to you, I say as one that is a stranger to the story, a stranger to the dead. For I would not be far upon the track if I alone were tracing it without a clue. But now, since after all was finished, I became a citizen among you, citizens. Now I proclaim to all men of Thebes,
That's why we build viewing galleries, right?
whoso among you knows the murderer by whose hand Laius, son of Laodicus, died, I command him to tell everything to me. Yes, though he fears himself to take the blame on his own head for bitter punishment, he shall have none. But leave this land unharmed, or if he knows a murderer, another a foreigner, still let him speak the truth, for I will pay him and be grateful too. But if you shall keep silence, if perhaps some of you to shield a guilty friend, some one of you to shield reject my words, hear what I shall do to them. What I shall do then. I forbid that man, whoever he may be, my land where I hold sovereignty and throne, and I forbid any to welcome him, or cry him greeting, or make him a sharer in sacrifice or offering to the gods, or give him water for his hands to wash. I command all to drive him from their homes, since he is our pollution, as the oracle of Pytho's god proclaimed him now to me. So I stand forth a champion of the god, and of the man who died upon the murderer, I invoke this curse. Whether he is one man and all unknown, or one of many, may he wear out his life in misery to a miserable doom. If with my knowledge he lives at my hearth, I pray that I myself may feel my curse. On you I lay my charge to fulfill all this for me, for the God, and for this land of ours, destroyed and blighted by the God forsaken. Even were this no matter of God's ordinance, it would not fit you, so leave it lie, unpurified, since a good man is dead, and one that was a king, search it out, since I am now the holder of his office, and have his bed and wife
that was once his. And had his line not been unfortunate, he would have common children, fortunate leaped upon his head. Because of these things, I fight in his defense as for my father, and I shall try all means to take the murderer of Laius, the son of Labdacus, the son of Polydorus, and before him, if Cadmus, and before him, Agnior. Those who do not obey me, may the gods grant no crops springing from the ground they plow, nor children to their women. May a fate like this, or still worse than this, consume them. For you whom these words please, the other Thebans, may justice as your ally and all the gods live with you, blessing you now and forever.
Holy shit. Basically, Oedipus is just saying, whoever killed Laius, they deserve nothing from anybody ever, and they deserve to be banished and killed and whatever.
Yeah, okay. Hurt.
Oh my god. It's so unnecessary. Yeah, he's forbidden from the land. Whoever killed Laius is forbidden from the land and deserves nothing. Like, no sympathy.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. I don't understand. It's just filler words. It's fluff. Get to the fucking point.
The chorus says, as you have held me to my oath, I speak. I neither killed the king nor can declare the killer. But since Phoebus set the quest, it is his part to tell you who the man is. Oedipus says, right, but to put compulsion on the gods against their will, no man can do that. Chorus says, may I then say what I think second best? Oedipus says, if there's a third best too, spare not to tell it. Chorus says, I know that what the Lord Tiresias sees is most often what Lord Apollo sees. If you should inquire of this from him, you might find out most clearly. Oedipus says, even in this my actions have not been sluggard. On Creon's word I have sent 2 messengers, and why the prophet is not here already, I have been wondering.
So basically they're gonna ask Tiresias what he thinks.
Okay.
Tiresias is a blind prophet. Oh my god.
Prophets are people that just, like, can say, not can say, but they'll, I won't say predict the future, but try and predict the future.
It's not predicting the future, more of like, I mean, in a sense it is, but it's like when you fulfill a prophecy.
Okay.
It's not like black and white. It's kind of like vague of like what can happen. But it happens, nonetheless.
Okay.
Chorus says, his skill apart, there is, besides only an old faint story. Oedipus, what is it? I look at every story. Chorus says, it was said that he was killed by certain wayfarers. Oedipus says, I heard that too, but no one saw the killer. Chorus says, yet, if he has a share of fear at all, his courage will not stand firm, hearing your curse. Oedipus says, the man who, in the doing, did not shrink with will fear no word. Chorus says, here comes his prosecutor. Led by your men, the godly prophet comes, in whom alone of mankind truth is native. And then Tiresias enters. He's led by a little boy. Oh my god. How much more we got? Oh. Got a lot left, but I got through a little bit. Oedipus says, Tiresias, you are versed in everything, things teachable and things not to be spoken, things of the heaven and earth creeping things. You have no eyes, but in your mind you know with what a plague our city is afflicted. My lord, in you alone we find a champion. In you alone, on that can rescue us. Perhaps you have not heard the messengers, but Phoebus sent in answer to our sending, an oracle declaring that our freedom from this disease would only come when we should learn the names of those who killed King Laius, and kill them or expel them from our country. Do not begrudge us oracle from birds, or any other way of prophecy, within your skill. Save yourself in this city. Save me. Redeem the debt of our pollution that lies on us because of this dead man. We are in your hands. Pains are most nobly taken to help another when you have means and power. Tiresias says, alas, how terrible is wisdom when it brings no profit to the man that's wise. This I know well, but had forgotten it, else I would have not come here. Oedipus, what is this? How sad you are now you have come. Tiresias, let me go home. It'll be easiest for us both to bear our several destinies to the end, if you follow my advice. Oedipus says, you'd rob us of this gift of prophecy? You Taka's one who had no care for law nor love, for Thebes who reared you? Tiresias says, yes, but I see that even your own words I miss the mark, therefore I must fear for mine. Oedipus says, for God's sake, if you know of anything, do not turn from us. All of us kneel to you, all of us hear your suppliants. Tiresias says, all of you here know nothing. I will not bring to light of day my troubles, mine rather than call them yours. Oedipus, what do you mean? You know of something but refuse to speak? Would you betray us and destroy the city? Tiresias says, I will not bring this pain upon us both. I neither on you nor on myself. Why is it you question me and waste your labor? I will tell you nothing. Oedipus says, you will provoke a stone. Tell us, you villain. Tell us, and do not stand there quietly, unmoved and balking at the issue. Basically, they're going back and forth. Like, Tiresias is like, I know stuff, but I'm not gonna tell you because it's just gonna make things worse, essentially. And then Oedipus is getting pissed off, like, do you know stuff? And you're basically being a traitor. Like, how can you just sit there and not tell us anything when you know something?
They're almost done.
Not even close.
What the fuck? You've been reading for like an hour.
Okay.
Probably.
You're not done?
Not even close.
Can I say something?
Mm-hmm.
Once I get this paycheck, well, I also get paid this week, I'll probably have close to $1,500 in my savings.
Hell yeah.
And then Wayne has also got $100. So we'll be at like 1,600, and by the end of this week, we'll probably be at like 1,700, 1,800.
Damn, bro.
Pocket.
Because he's probably put more in his savings.
Pocket. Teresa says, you blame my temper, but you do not see your own that lives within you. It is me, you chide. Oedipus says, who would not feel this temper rise at words like these with which you shame our city? Tiresias says, of themselves things will come, although I hide them and breathe no word of them. Oedipus says, since they will come, tell them to me. Tiresias says, I will say nothing further. Against this answer, let your temper rage as wildly as you will. Oedipus says, indeed I am. So angry I shall not hold back the jaw of what I think. For I would have I think you were complotter of the deed and doer of the deed, save in so far. As for the actual killing, had you had eyes, I would have said alone you murdered him. Basically, Oedipus is getting pissed off, so pissed off that he's thinking that Tiresias killed Laius. Tiresias, yes? Then I warn you faithfully to keep the letter of your proclamation, and from this day forth to speak no word of greeting to these nor me. You are the land's pollution. Ooh. Tiresias just said, it was you.
You're the problem.
Yeah, you're the issue, actually. I wasn't gonna say anything, and I was just gonna let everything be, but since you wanna point fingers, you wanna know what's crazy? It's actually you dumb motherfucker. Oedipus says, how shamelessly you started up this taunt. How shamelessly you started up this taunt. How do you think you will escape? Tiresias, I have escaped. The truth is what I cherish, and that's my strength. Oedipus, and who has taught you truth? Not your profession, surely. Tiresias says, you have taught me, for you have made me speak against my will. Oedipus says, speak what? Tell me again that I may learn it better. Tiresias says, "Did you not understand before, or would you provoke me into speaking?" Oedipus says, "I did not grasp it. Not so to call it own. Oh, sorry. Not so to call it known. Say it again." Tiresias says, "I say you are the murderer of the king whose murderer you seek." Oedipus says, "Not twice you shall say, calumnies, probably lies, like this and stay unpunished." Tiresias says, "Shall I say more to tempt your anger more?" Oedipus says, "As much as you desire, it will be said in vain." Tiresias says, "I say with those you love best, you live in foulest shame unconsciously and do not see where you are in calamity." Oedipus says, "Do you imagine you can always talk like this and live to laugh at it hereafter?" Tiresias says, "Yes, if the truth has anything of strength." Basically, he's basically saying, Oedipus, you are doing so much fucked up shit unconsciously, and that's the truth. And Oedipus is like, "How do you think you can just talk like this and not, like, get your ass beat or, like, die?" And he's like, "'Cause it's the truth. If there's strength in truth, then I'm strong." Oedipus says, "It has, but not for you. It has no strength for you because you are blind in hand and ears as well as in your eyes." Tiresias says, you are a poor wretch to taunt me with the very insults which everyone soon will heap upon yourself." He's basically like saying, like, everything you're calling me, people are gonna call you, but 10 times worse.
Yeah.
Oedipus says, Your life is one long night, so that you cannot hurt me or any other who sees the light." Tiresias says, "It is not fate that I should be your ruin. Apollo is enough. It is his care to work this out." Oedipus says, "Was this your own design, or Creon's?" Tiresias says, "Creon is no hurt to you, but you are yourself." Oedipus says, "Wealth, sovereignty, and skill outmatching skill for the contrivance of an envied life. Great store of jealousy fill your treasury chests. If my friend Creon, friend from this and loyal, thus secretly attacks me, secretly desires to drive me out, and secretly suborns the struggling trick devising quack, this wily beggar, who has only eyes for his own gains, but blindness in his skill. Foretell me, where have you seen clear, Tiresias, with your prophetic eyes? When the dark singer, the Sphinx, was in your country, did you speak word of deliverance to its citizens? And yet the riddle's answer was not the province of a chance comer. It was a prophet's task, and plainly you had no such gift of prophecy from birds nor otherwise from the god to glean a word of knowledge. But I came, Oedipus, who knew nothing, and I stopped her. I solved the riddle by my own wit alone. Mine was no knowledge got from birds. And now you would expel me? Because you think that you will find a place by Creon's throne? I think you will be sorry, both you and your accomplice, for your plot to drive me out, and I do not regard you as an old man. Some suffering would have taught you that what was in your heart was treason. So basically, Oedipus is saying he thinks that Creon, which is his brother-in-law, and Tiresias is working out and devising a plan to try to get Oedipus out of the throne so that they can have it.
Okay.
And yeah, and the other thing is Apollo, that is the god that made the prophecy about Oedipus, I'm pretty sure, not Tiresias. Tiresias is just telling him what he knows.
That's the speed gun.
Huh?
That's the speed gun. Apollo? Yeah. That
That's what he said.
That guy's like super fast.
It was not fate that I should be your ruin. Apollo is enough. It is his care to work this out. I'm pretty sure Apollo made this prophecy about Oedipus. And Tiresias just knows it.
Knows that Apollo made it?
Like, he knows of the prophecy.
Oh.
Okay. By the way, I love Tiresias. In the play, he's such like it's okay because I watched a few different adaptations of the play, and some plays he kind of looks like a Discord mod in like not a good way. I don't think you can look like a Discord mod in a good way, but in other ones he's like this really cool, like just chill guy. Because like he's the monkey in the meme. That's
Yeah.
this. And Oedipus is definitely the lion. That's how I would describe their relationship. Okay. The chorus says, "We look at this man's words and yours, my king, and we find both have spoken them in anger. We need no angry words, but only thought how we may best hit the god's meaning for us." Okay. I just wish they didn't have such long fucking monologues, dude.
Yeah.
Because it's so much words at once. Okay. Tiresias says a lot. So get ready. Tiresias says, "If you are king, at least I have the right no less to speak in my defense against you. Of that much I am master. I am no slave of yours, but Loxias, and so I shall not enroll myself with Creon for my patron. Since you have taunted me, being blind, here is my word for you. You have your eyes, but see not where you are, in sin, nor where you live, nor whom you live with. Do you know who your parents are? Unknowingly, you are an enemy to kith and kin in death beneath the earth and this life. A deadly footed double striking curse, from father and mother both, shall drive you forth out of this land with darkness on your eyes. And now have such straight vision shall there be a place will not be harbor to your cries, a corner of Kithaeron, and will not ring an echo to your cries. Soon, where shall learn the secret of your marriage, which steered you to a haven in this house, haven, no haven, after lucky voyage, and the multitude of other evils, establishing a grim equality between you and your children. You know nothing, so muddy with contempt my words and Creon's. Misery shall grind no man as it will you." I don't really know if I should tell you exactly what he means, unless you kind of want me to spoil it for you.
Spoil it.
Okay. So let me go line by line. So, do you know who your parents are? Unknowingly, you are an enemy to kith and kin. So, Oedipus's dad is Laius.
The previous king.
Yes.
What?
Oedipus killed Laius.
What?
On that trip. He's the one who killed Laius. He is the pollution. He doesn't know who his parents are.
Why did Oedipus kill us?
He was just like one of those. The best way I can describe it is like one of the guys from like Princess Bride, just going on an adventure, and you stumble upon a group of people, and they basically kind of want. It's like an agreed upon fight, almost, and they fight to the death. And
so he agreed to fight his dad.
It wasn't really agreed. They kind of like just stumbled on each other. It's like when cats find each other in an alleyway, and they wanted to fight. Like they didn't want. No one like was like, I want to fight you. But like Laius was not Laius. Oedipus basically saw them, took them as a threat, and killed them.
Okay.
Because you're in our area.
Yeah.
Or maybe he just wanted to kill them. I don't really know. So since Laius is Oedipus's dad, earlier stated, he took over Laius's throne and got with Laius's wife.
Mm-hmm.
Laius's wife is obviously his mother.
Oh, and that's why you're like, yeah, he slept with.
Yes, he's sleeping with his mom.
Does he know?
No, he doesn't know.
That's funny.
And that's why he said you're unconsciously doing all of these filthy things. You don't even know how bad you are. Like, you don't even know.
Does anyone else know?
No.
Okay.
Well, besides
The guy right
the,
now.
yeah, the prophets. So, basically saying, so that's that line. Do you know who your parents are? Unknowingly, and unknowingly you are an enemy to kith and kin. And since he had children, that's his kin. Incest is bad. Having incest babies is bad.
Yeah. That's crazy.
Oh, and then it says, from father and mother both shall drive you forth out of this land with darkness on your eyes. He gouges out both of his eyes. So that's what the darkness on his eyes is.
Okay.
Because after he figures out that his mom is, like, he was sleeping with his mom and everything, and, like, he's a bad person, he, like, feels like he's not allowed to see anything, so he gouges out his eyes.
Okay. So, like, he's not really a bad dude for doing that stuff because he didn't know.
I guess. But he just doesn't listen. And then he says, shall there be a place with no, shall there be a place will not be harbor to your cries, the corner of Kithaeron. He gets banished to Kithaeron.
Okay.
Will not ring an echoing cry soon. And then it says, when you shall learn the secret of your marriage, marrying your mom,
as we seem to be lacking in the amenities department right now, we should really get that fixed.
and then it says, you know nothing. Basically saying you don't understand how bad you are. So muddy with contempt, my words and creons, misery shall grind no man as it will you. Basically saying you are so focused on trying to hate me and Creon to be bad, you're going to be so miserable, you won't even be able to comprehend it. Moving on. But yeah, that's basically.
You can kid out amenities however you like, but you're not shooting in the dark.
But he was foreshadowing a lot of that, and without knowing that ahead of time, that can sound very confusing.
Yeah.
So.
And how that equals more profit.
Oedipus says, it is endurable that I should hear such words from him. Go and a curse go with you. Quick home with you, out of my house at once. Tiresias says, I would not have come either had you not called me. Oedipus says, I do not know then you would talk like a fool, or it would have been long before I called you. Tiresias says, I am a fool then, as it seems to you, but to the parents who have bred you, wise. Oedipus says, what parents? Stop. Who are they? Of all the world. Tiresias says, this day will show your birth and will destroy you. Oedipus says, how needlessly your riddles darken everything. Tiresias says, but it's in riddle answering you are strongest. Oedipus says, yes, taunt me where you will find me great. Tiresias says, it is this very luck that has destroyed you. Oedipus says, I do not care if it has saved the city. Tiresias says, well, I will go. Come, boy, lead me away. Because remember, he came in with the little boy leading him.
You're not gonna believe
The little
what I
boy is
found.
like his guide.
Well,
Okay. Yeah, because he's blind.
Yeah.
Same thing.
Oedipus says, yes, lead him off, so long as you are here. You'll be stumbling block and a vexation. Once gone, you will not trouble me again. Tiresias says, I have said what I came here to say, not fearing your countenance. There is no way you can hurt me. I tell you, king, this man, this murderer, whom you have long declared you are in search of, indicating him in threatening proclamation of murderer of Laius. He is here. In name, he is a stranger among citizens, but soon he will be shown to be a citizen, true, native, Theban, and he'll have no joy of the discovery. Blindness for sight and beggary for riches his exchange. He shall be journeying to a foreign country, tapping his way before him with a stick. He shall be true father and brother both to his own children, in his own house. To her that gave him birth, a son and husband both, a fellow sower in his father's bed. With that same father that he murdered, go within, reckon that out. And if you find me mistaken, say I have no skill in prophecy.
I'm close to
exit
securing a new site
Thebius.
now.
I'm
What?
sorry,
My
exit
advice on increasing our
Thebius.
Oh.
reputation and park ratings.
Oh, he's so
and our
cool for that.
proposition is
Basically,
irresistible.
he's just restating, like, whoever killed him basically slept with their mother, and his children are basically his also brothers and sisters.
Mm.
And then he leaves. He's cold as fuck for that. I love Tiresias. I'm not gonna lie, I love that guy. Oh, apparently Oedipus also leaves out of a different door. But let me see if I can break anything else now. Oh, it says tapping with a stick.
Mhm.
Apparently he probably has a stick because he's blind to lead him around.
Yeah.
Makes
sense.
And then it says banished to a foreign country. He goes to Kithaeron. He's banished to
On that
Kithaeron.
topic, your reputation with the conservation
God,
sector
what the
would
fuck?
only improve if we had more naturally bred dinosaurs on site.
Here we go again. Chorus talks for a page and a half. Strophe. Who is the man proclaimed by Delphi's prophetic rock as the bloody-handed murderer, the doer of deeds that none dare name? Now is the time for him to run with a stronger foot than Pegasus, for the child of Zeus leaped in arms among him, with fire in the lightning bolt, and terribly close on his heels, are the fates that never miss. Antistrophe. Lately from snowy Parnassus, clearly the voice flashed forth, bidding each Theban track him down. The unknown murderer in the savage forest he lurks, and in the caverns like the mountain bull. He is sad and lonely, his feet that carry him far from the navel of earth, but its prophecies ever living flutter around his head. I don't know what the fuck they're talking about, and it's useless. But I'm gonna read it anyways. Dude, imagine how hard this would be if I didn't know the story.
Yeah.
Because I can't understand a word they're saying. I can only break it down a little bit because I know what's going on and I know what's gonna happen. But if I didn't know the story, I'd be fucking, like, lost. Like, I'm not even kidding. That's horrible. Strophe. The augur has spread confusion, terrible confusion. I do not approve what was said, nor can I deny it. I do not know what to say. I am in flutter of foreboding. I never heard in the present nor the past of a quarrel between the son of Labdacus and Polybus, but that I might bring as proof in attacking the popular fame of Oedipus, seeking to take vengeance for undiscovered death in the line of Labdacus. Antistrophe. Truly, Zeus and Apollo are wise, and in human things all-knowing. Hold up, motherfucker. But amongst men there is no distinct judgment between the prophetine, me, which of us is right. One man may pass another in wisdom, but I would never agree with those that find fault with the king till I should see the world proved right beyond doubt. For once invisible form the Sphinx came on him and all of us, saw his wisdom, and in that test he saved the city, so he will not be condemned by my mind. Enter Creon. Again, I have no idea what they're saying. No idea.
No.
Not a clue. I think strophe and antistrophe is basically like the good and like the good of what's going on and the bad of what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
But they're literally just like the peanut gallery. Because it's the chorus talking.
Mm.
Like, they're not important people. Anyways, Creon, which is Oedipus's brother-in-law, says, Citizens, I have come because I've heard deadly words spread about me, but the king accuses me. I cannot take that from him. If he believes that in these present troubles he has been wronged by me, in word or deed, I do not want to live on with the burden of such a scandal on me. The report injures me doubly, and most vitally, for I'll be called a traitor to my city and traitor also to my friends and me. Basically, Creon came back and was like, dude, what the fuck? I heard Oedipus was talking shit about me, and Tiresias. What's going on?
Yeah.
Why is he talking shit about me? The chorus says, perhaps it was a sudden gust of anger that forced that insult from him and no judgment. Creon says, but did he say that it was a compliances with schemes of mine that seer told him lies? Jesus Christ. Chorus says, yes, he said that, but why I do not know. Creon says, were his eyes straight in his head? Was his mind right when he accused me in this fashion? Jesus Christ. Creon roasts the shit out of anybody, I swear to God. Like, he's just that guy.
Yeah.
The chorus says, I do not know. I have no eyes to see. What princes do? Here comes the king himself. And then Oedipus answers. Oedipus says, you, sir, how is it you come here? Have you so much brazen face daring that you venture in my house, although you have proved manifestly the murderer of that man, and though you tried openly highway robbery of my crown? For God's sake, tell me what you saw in me, what cowardice or what stupidity that made you lay a plot like this against me. Did you imagine I should not observe the crafty scheme that stole upon me, seeing it, take no means to counter it? Was it not stupid of you to make the attempt to try to hunt down the royal power without the people at your back of friends? For only with the people at your back or money can the hunt end in the capture of a crown? Basically, he just said, do you think I'm stupid for not seeing that you were trying to plot with Tiresias? That's all I said. Oh my god. Creon says, do you know what you're doing? Will you listen to words to answer yours and then pass judgment? Oedipus says, you're quick to speak, but I am slow to grasp you, for I have found you dangerous and my foe. Ooh, enemies. Creon says, first of all, hear what I shall say to that. Oedipus says, at least don't tell me that you are not guilt. Creon says, if you think without wisdom, a valuable possession, you are wrong. Oedipus says, and you are wrong if you believe that one, a criminal, will not be punished only because he is my kinsman. Ooh, basically saying, Creon, you're stupid if you think that you're not going to get in trouble just because you're my wife's brother.
Mm-hmm.
Just saying. Creon says, this is but tell me then of what offense I'm guilty. Oedipus says, did you or did you not urge me to send to this prophetic mumbler? Creon says, I did indeed, and I shall stand by what I told you. Oedipus says, how long ago is it since Laius? Creon says, what about Laius? I don't understand. Oedipus says, vanished, died, was murdered? Creon says, it is long, a long, long time to reckon. Oedipus says, was this prophet in the profession then? Creon says, he was, and honored as highly as he is today. Oedipus says, at that time, did he say a word about me? Creon says, never, at least not when I was near him.
In Spanish, the meadows. Huh. It brings to mind peaceful, rolling pastures.
Oedipus says, you never made a search for the dead man? Creon says, we searched indeed, but never learned of anything. Oedipus says, why did our wise old friend not say this then? Creon says, I do not know, and when I know nothing, I usually hold my tongue. Clock it. Clock it. Basically saying, if I don't know something, I know how to stop talking.
Mm-hmm.
And not just blabber, blabber, blabber. Oedipus says, you know this much, and can declare this much if you are loyal. Creon says, what is it? If I know, I'll not deny it. Oedipus says,
When you
that
said we were going to
would not
Vegas,
have
I
said
was
that I killed
expecting
Laius,
glitz,
had he
glamour,
not met you
maybe
first.
a night on the
Creon
town.
says,
Huh?
you
But,
know yourself,
that'll
whether
teach
he
me from
said this,
being
but I demand
optimistic.
that I should hear
What
as
was
much
his
from
place
you
again?
as you are,
I
as
believe that
you
the
from me.
original owner called it a
Oedipus says, then here, I'll not be proved a murderer.
The new owner,
Creon
our
says, well
client,
then, you're
wants
married
us to take
to
better
my
care of these
sister.
animals.
And I bet
Oedipus
you're
says,
expecting
yes, that I am
some
not
profits given to
disposed to
Vegas'
deny.
real estate.
Creon says, you
Oh,
rule
I
this
have a
country,
good
giving her
feeling
an
about
equal
this.
share in the government. Oedipus says, yes, everything she wants, she has from me. Creon says, and I, as thirdsman to you, am rated as equal of you two? Oedipus says, yes, and it's there you proved yourself false friend. I don't really know what they're talking about right now because they're going back and forth between like stop writing it down. Going back and forth between talking like when Laius died, how long ago was that? To when did we search for him? Yes. To now they're talking about the power and how
To
it
help
works.
out, I
Basically,
For
Creon,
UN's
the
crisis
wife, and
manager.
Oedipus all share
She
equal
was a big
power.
name at Jurassic
Is what
Park
they're calling
and
her right now. I
Jurassic
don't know how we
World
got here, but we're talking
until
about
they
it.
went under
Okay.
catastrophically.
Creon
But
says,
I'm sure that had nothing to do with you, Lily.
not if you will reflect
Nothing at
on
all.
it as I do. Consider
Thank you,
first if you think
Captain, and hello,
anyone would
everyone.
choose to rule in
Now,
fear
our
rather
most
than rule
pressing
in sleep
task is to
untroubled by
get
a
these
feat of
animals
power where equal in both
contained,
cases.
which means
I, at
repairing
least,
that
I was not
aviary.
born with such a frantic
Want those
yearning to
high
be a king,
flyers to escape
but to
the
do what
bright lights
kings
of the
do.
city, of
And
course.
so, it is with everyone who has learned wisdom and self-control as it stands now. The prizes are all mine, and without fear. But if I were the king myself, I must do much that went against the grain. How should despotic rule seem sweeter to me than painless power and assured authority? I am not so bestowed, yet that I want other honors than those that come with profit. Now every man's my pleasure, every man greets me. Now those who are your suitors fawn on me. Success for them depends upon my favor. Why should I let all this go to win? Why should I let all this go to win that? My mind would not be traitor if it's wise. I am no treason lover of my nature, nor would I ever dare to join a plot. Prove what I say. Go to the oracle at Pytho and inquire about the answers. If they are as I told you for the rest, if you discover that I laid any plot together with the seer, kill me, I say, not only by your vote, but by my own. But do not charge me an obscure opinion, without some proof to back it. It's not just lightly to count your knaves as honest men, nor with honest men as knaves. To throw away an honest friend is, as it were, to throw your life away, which a man loves the best. In the time you will know all the certainty. Time is the only test of honest men. One day is space enough to know a rogue. Basically, he's saying, why would I throw my perfectly good life away? I don't want to be king. I like my position now. Matter of fact, I prefer my position now.
Yeah.
And why don't you just go to the prophet, like I don't know if he said Apollo? He says it's at Pytho, so it's to go make basically go there to learn about the prophet yourself. And if I lied, kill me. And you know what? Since it's has to be basically that's 2 out of 3 votes, I'll vote to kill myself too. Because if I'm lying, you can vote to kill me, and then the second vote will be me, because I know my sister probably won't want to kill me.
Yeah.
So if I'm lying, just kill me. But he's basically saying you throw away friends without even really thinking.
Mm.
You don't think before you talk. Okay.
Makes sense.
The chorus says, his words are wise, king. If one fears to fall, those who are quick of temper are not safe. Oedipus says, when he that plots against me secretly moves quickly, I must quickly counterplot. If I wait, taking no decisive measure, his business will be done and mine be spoiled. Creon says, what do you want to do then? Banish me? Oedipus says, no, certainly kill you, not banish you. Damn. Creon says, I do not think your wits about you. Oedipus says, for my own interests, yes. Creon, but for mine too. You should think equally. Oedipus says, you are a rogue. Creon says, suppose you do not understand. Oedipus says, but yet I must be ruler. Creon says, not if you rule badly. Dude, Creon just cooks this dude. Holy shit. Oedipus says, oh city, city. Creon says, I too have some share in this city. It is not yours alone. The chorus says, stop, my lords. Here, and in the nick of time, I see Jocasta coming from the house. With your help, lay the quarrel that now stirs you. Jocasta is Oedipus's wife and Creon's sister.
Mm-hmm.
Enter Jocasta. Jocasta, for shame! Why have you raised this foolish squabble and brawl? Are you not ashamed to air your private griefs when the country's sick?
Go in, you, Oedipus, and you too, Creon, into the house. Don't magnify your nothing troubles. Jocasta talks to them normally, like most normal out of all of them.
Mhm.
Basically saying, shut up and get in the house. You're being embarrassing. Get in the house. Creon says, Sister, Oedipus, your husband thinks he has the right to do terrible wrongs. He has but to choose between two terrors, banishing or killing me. Oedipus says, he's right, Jocasta, for I find him plotting with knavish tricks against my person. Creon says, that God may never bless me. May I die accursed if I have been guilty of one title of the charge you bring against me. Jocasta, I beg you, Oedipus, trust him in this. Spare him for the sake of his oath to God, for the sake of those who stand here. Chorus, be gracious, be merciful, we beg you. Oedipus says, and what would you have me yield? Chorus says, he has been no silly child in the past. He is strong in his oath now. Spare him. Oedipus says, do you know what you ask? The chorus says, yes. Oedipus says, tell me then. The chorus says, he has been your friend before all men's eyes. Do not cast him away dishonored on an obscure conjecture. Oedipus says, I would have you know that this request of yours really requests my death or banishment.
You two know each other, huh?
The chorus says, may the sun god, king of gods, forbid may I die without God's blessing, without friends' help. If I had any such thought, my spirit is broken by my unhappiness for my wasting country, and this would but add troubles amongst ourselves to the other troubles. Oedipus says, well, let him go then, if I must die 10 times for it, or be sent out dishonored into exile. It is your lips that prayed for him, pitied, not his. Wherever he is, I shall hate him. Basically, the chorus is like, please spare Creon. He's literally been your friend, like, the entire, like, for forever. Like, you're being, like, your temper is getting a hold of you, essentially. And Oedipus is not backing down. Essentially, he's like, fine, I'll spare him, but just know that it's your guys' fault that now I'm gonna die or I'm gonna be banished because we're letting him get away. So, Creon says, I see you sulk and yielding, and you're dangerous when you are out of temper. Natures like yours are justly heaviest for themselves to bear. Oedipus says, leave me alone. Take yourself off, I tell you. Creon says, I'll go. I'll go. You have not known me, but they have, and they have known my innocence. The chorus says, won't you take him inside, lady? Jocasta says, yes, when I found out what was the matter. The chorus says, there was some misconceived suspicion of a story, and on the other side of the sting of injustice. Jocasta, so on both sides? The chorus says yes. Jocasta, what was the story? Chorus, I think it is best in the interest of the country to leave it where it ended. Oedipus says, you see where you have ended, straight of judgment, although you are by softening my anger. The chorus says, sir, I have said before, I say again, be sure that I would have been proved a madman, bankrupt, insane in council if I should put you away. You who steered the country I love safely. When she was crazed with troubles, God grant that now to you may prove a fortunate guide for us. Jocasta, tell me, my lord, I beg of you, what was it that roused your anger so? Oedipus says, yes, I will tell you. I honor you more than I honor them. It was Creon and the plots he laid against me. Jocasta, tell me if you can clearly tell the quarrel. Oedipus says, Creon says, I'm the murderer of Bias. Jocasta, of his own knowledge or on information? Oedipus says, he sent this rascal prophet to see me, since he keeps his own mouth clean of any guilt. Jocasta says, do not concern yourself about this matter. Listen to me and learn that human beings have no part in the craft of prophecy. Of that, I'll show you a short proof. There was an oracle once that came to Laius. I will not say that it was Phoebus' own, but it was from his servants, and it told him that it was fate that he should die a victim at the hands of his own son, a son to be born of Laius and me. But see, now he, the king, was killed by foreign highway robbers in a place where 3 roads met. So goes the story. And for the son, before 3 days were out, after his birth, King Laius pierced his ankles. Okay, before 3 days were out, after his birth, King Laius pierced his ankles, and by the hands of others cast him forth upon a pathless hillside. So Apollo failed to fulfill his oracle to the son, that he should kill his father, and to Laius also proved false, and that the thing he feared, death at his son's hands, never came to pass. So clear in this case were the oracles, so clear and false. Give them no heed, I say. What God discovers need of easily he shows to us himself. Okay, so basically they're saying that Jocasta was like, here, sometimes prophecies do not come true, and I have a proof. We once had an oracle or a prophecy that said that Laius was going to be killed by his own son. So after Jocasta and Laius heard of this information, they took their only son and pierced his ankles together and left him
Shit.
like out in
To die?
Yeah, basically. And they thought like, oh yeah, he's dead, like obviously, whatever. And Laius was also to be killed by his son, where 3 roads meet. And yes, that was
What happened?
Oedipus. He was the kid who had his ankles pierced in, but somebody saved him, and that's why he doesn't know who his parents are, because he was left as a child.
Okay.
Then Oedipus says to this, "Oh, dear Jocasta, as I hear this from you, there comes upon me a wandering of the soul. I could run mad." Jocasta says, "What trouble is it that you turn again and speak like this?" Oedipus says, "I thought I heard you say that Laius was killed at a crossroads." Jocasta says, "Yes, that was how the story went, and still that word goes around." Oedipus says, "Where is this place, Jocasta? Where was he murdered?" Jocasta says, Phocis is the country, and the road splits there. One of 2 roads from Delphi, another comes from Dolia. Oedipus says, "How long ago was this?" He's basically like putting it together, like, wait, you said he was killed at 3 roads? By robbers? What were the 3 roads and how long ago? Jocasta says, "The news came to the city just before you became king, and all men's eyes looked to you." What is it, Oedipus, that's in your mind? Oedipus says, "Where have you designed, O Zeus, to do with me?" Jocasta says, "What is the thought that troubles your heart?" Oedipus says, "Don't ask me yet. Tell me of Laius. How did he look? How old or young was he?" Jocasta says, "He was a tall man, and his hair was grizzled already, nearly white, and in his form not unlike you." Oedipus says, "Oh God, I think I have called curses upon myself in ignorance." He's basically finally realizing that he killed Laius.
Yeah.
Jocasta says, "What do you mean? I am terrified when I look at you." Oedipus says, "I have a deadly fear that the old seer has eyes. You'll show me more if you can tell me one more thing." Jocasta says, "I will. I'm frightened, but if I can understand, I'll tell you all you ask." Oedipus says, "How was his company? Had he few with him, and he went this journey, or many servants, as would suit a prince?" Jocasta says, "In all there were but 5, and among them a herald and 1 carriage for the king." Oedipus says, it's plain. Who told it? Who was it told you this?" Jocasta says, "The only servant that escaped safe home." "Is he at home now?" Jocasta says, "No. When he came home again and saw you king and Laius was dead, he came to me and touched my hat and begged that I should send him to the fields to be a shepherd, so he might see the city as far off as he might. So I sent him away. He is an honest man, as slaves go, and was worthy of far more than what he asked of me. Basically saying, the guy that got away, where is he and what is he doing now? And he's a shepherd.
Mhm.
Oedipus says, oh, how I wish that he could come back quickly. Jocasta says, he can. Why is your here so set on this? Oedipus says, oh dear Jocasta, I am full of fears that I have spoken far too much, and therefore I wish to see the shepherd. Jocasta says, he will come, but Oedipus, I think I'm worthy to know what it is that disquiets you. Oedipus says, it shall not be kept from you, since my mind has gone so far with its forebodings. Whom should I confide in rather than you? Who is there of more importance to me who have passed through such a fortune? Polybus was my father, king of Corinth, and Merope, the Dorian, my mother. I was held greatest of the citizens in Corinth till a curious chance befell me, as I shall tell you. Curious indeed, but hardly worth the store set upon it. There was a dinner, and at it a drunken man accused me in his drink of being a bastard. I was furious, but held my temper under for that day. The next day, I went and taxed my parents with it. They took the insult very ill from him, the drunken fellow who had uttered it. So I was comforted for their part, but still this thing rankled always, for the story crept about widely, and I was at last to Pytho, though my parents did not know, but Phoebus sent me home again, unhonored, in what I came to learn, but he foretold other and desperate horrors to befall me, that I was fated to lie with my mother, and show to daylight an accursed breed which men would not endure, and I was doomed to be murdered of the father that begot me. When I heard this, I fled, and in the days that followed, I would measure from the stars the whereabouts of Corinth. Yes, I fled to somewhere where I should not see fulfilled the infamies told in that dreadful oracle. And as I journeyed, I came to the place where, as you say, this king met with his death. Jocasta, I will tell you the whole truth. When I was near the branching of the crossroads, going on foot, I encountered by a herald of the carriage with a man in it, just as you tell me. He that led the way, and the old man himself wanted to thrust me out of the road by force. I became angry, and struck the coachman who was pushing me. When the old man saw this, he watched his moment, and as I passed, he struck me from his carriage, full on the head, with his two pointed goad. But he was in pain and full hesitantly. My stick had stuck him backwards from the car, and he rolled out of it. And then I killed them all. If it happened there was any tie of kinship twixt this man Elias, who is then now more miserable than I am. What man on earth so hated by the gods, since neither citizen nor foreigner may welcome me at home, or even greet me, but drive me out of doors? And it is I and no other, have so cursed myself, and I pollute the bed of him I killed by the hands that killed him. Was I not born evil? Am I not utterly unclean? I had to fly, and in my banishment not even see my kindred, not set foot in my own country, or otherwise my fate was to be yoked in marriage with my mother, and kill my father. Polybus, who begot me, and had reared me, would not one rightly judge and say that on me these things were sent by some malignant god? Oh no, no, no! O holy majesty of high on high, on a God on high, may I not see that day. May I be gone out of men's sight before I see the deadly taint of this disaster come upon me. Oh my god. Basically, he's saying his mom and dad, in quotes, his mom and dad, basically the people that saved him from, because he had his infant together, those people that took him and raised him, he thought the entire time that was his actual mom and dad.
Yeah.
Told him. And basically, an oracle got to him, another prophecy, basically saying it's all the same prophecy, but just being told at different points.
Mm-hmm.
That he was told that he would kill his own father and lay in and basically sleep with his mother.
Yeah.
And so, in order to avoid this, he fled.
Mm-hmm.
His cornet or something, wherever he lived before. And that's where he stumbled upon a man, which I'm pretty sure is the same man that called him a bastard in a bar. Which is crazy.
Yeah.
And that's it. So basically, he knew of this prophecy too.
The barman?
No.
Who?
Oedipus.
Oh, okay.
Because he was told that he was going to sleep with his mother and kill his dad. So in order to avoid that, he left his country. And on the way to leaving his country, that's where he met Laius and killed him. And now he's here, sleeping with his mother.
That's insane.
Okay, so Cor says, Sir, we too fear these things, but until you see this man face to face and hear his story, hope. Yes, I have just this much hope to wait until the herdsman comes, and when he comes, what do you want with him? Oedipus, I'll tell you if I find that his story is the same as yours. I, at least, will be clear of this guilt. Jocasta, what so particularly did you learn from my story? Oedipus says, you said that he spoke of highway robbers who killed Laius. Now, if he uses the same number, it was not I who killed him. One man cannot be the same as many, but if he speaks of a man traveling alone, then clearly the burden of the guilt inclines towards me. Jocasta, be sure at least this was how he told the story. He cannot unsay it now, for everyone in the city heard it, not I alone, but Oedipus. Even if he diverges from what he said, he shall never prove that the murder of Laius squares rightly with the prophecy, for Loxias declared that the king should be killed by his own son, and that poor creature did not kill him surely, for he died himself first. So as far as prophecy goes, henceforward I shall not look to the right hand or the left. Oedipus, right, but yet send someone for the peasant to bring him here. Do not neglect it. Jocasta says, I will send him quickly. Now let me go indoors. I will do nothing except what pleases you. That's the end of the first reading.
What?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's insane.
You don't know how many pages you got left?
How many pages?
1, 2, 3. Oh yeah, 10. I forgot. It was 10.
Okay.
How many was the first one?
13.
Okay, so 3 left. Okay, here we go. Oh my god, the strophe and anti-strophe type shit again. This is so fucking annoying. Chorus, strophe. May destiny ever find me pious in word and deed, prescribed by the laws that live on high, laws begotten in the clear air of heaven, whose only father is Olympus, nor mortal nature wrought them to birth, no forgetfulness shall lull them to sleep. Thousand for God is great in them and grows not old. Anti-strophe. Insolence breathes in the tyrant insolence. If it is glutted with surfeit, unreasonable, unprofitable, climbs to the rooftop and plunges sheer down to the ruin that must be and there its be in no service. But I pray that God may never abolish the eager ambition that profits the sake, for I shall never cease to hold the God as our protector. Strophe. If a man walks with hauntingless of hand of word and gives no heed to justice and the shrines of God, despises may an evil doom smite him for his ill-starred pride of heart. If he reaps gains without justice and will not hold for impiety, and his fingers itch for untouchable things, when such things are done, the man shall contrivitio shield his soul from the shafts of the god. When such deeds are held in honor, why should I honor the gods in the dance? Anti-strophe. No longer to the holy place, to the navel of earth I'll go, to worship, not to obey, not to Olympia, unless the oracles are proved to fit for all men's hands to point out. O Zeus, if you are rightly called the sovereign word of the mastering, let not escape you nor your ever-living power. The oracles concerning Laius are old and dim, and men regard them not. Apollo is nowhere clear in honor. God's services perishes. Jesus Christ. Again, just words. Words and fluff. Words to fill a page. It makes no sense. Anyways, part 2. Jocasta. Princes of the land, I have had the thought to go to the gods' temples, bringing in my land garlands and gifts of incense, as you see, for Oedipus excites himself too much at every sort of trouble, not conjecturing like a man of sense what will eve from what was. But he is always at speaker's mercy. When he speaks terrors, I can do no good, but my advice is so I come as suppliant to you, like King Apollo, who are nearest. These are the symbols of my prayer, and this my prayer grants us escape free of the curse. Now when we look to him, we are all afraid. He's a pilot of our ship, and he is frightened. Basically, I think she's trying to talk to Apollo. Not pray to Apollo, I would imagine. And saying, please help Oedipus. He can't lead a country if he's this afraid. And
Yeah, makes sense.
enters the messenger. Messenger, might I learn from you, sirs, where is the house of Oedipus, or best of all, if you know where is the king himself? Cora says, this is his house, and he is within doors. This lady is his wife and mother of his children. Messenger, God bless you, lady, and God bless your household. God bless Oedipus' noble wife. What?
Nothing. It's just that this is Oedipus' wife, but it's his mother.
Oh, yeah. Jocasta says, God bless you, sir, from your kind greeting. What do you want of us that you have come here? What have you to tell us? Messenger says, good news, lady. Good for your house and for your husband. Jocasta says, what is your news? Who sent you to us? Messenger says, I come from Cornan, and the news I bring will give you pleasure, perhaps a little pain too. Jocasta says, what is this news of double meaning? Messenger says, the people of Isthmus will choose Oedipus to be their king. That is the rumor there. Jocasta says, Nut isn't their king still old?
Nut.
Yeah, I don't know. Nut isn't their king still old Polybus? Messenger, no. He is in his grave. Death has got him. Jocasta says, is that the truth? Is Oedipus' father's dead? Messenger says, may I die myself if it be otherwise. Jocasta to a servant, be quick and run to the king with the news. O oracles of the gods, where are you now? It was from this man Oedipus fled, lest he should be his murderer, and now he is dead in the course of nature, and not killed by Oedipus. Enter Oedipus. So, this always confused me when I watched it, because basically the messenger came to Jocasta and said his father that raised him essentially died, and that this oracle that Oedipus thought is the reason why he left his country is because he didn't want to kill that father. And so the messenger is basically saying, okay, well, he can't fulfill this prophecy because that everyone's saying that he's going to, because his father died naturally. But I feel like we're already past the point of discovering that Laius is his father, but I guess they're trying to work out other options, I guess.
Other things that could have happened?
Yeah, so they think this is good news because he couldn't have killed his father because his father died naturally in his own country. So that's what they're trying to do and say, but it's kind of stupid because, like, at this point, you should be piecing this together a little bit better, you dumb hoes. Oedipus says, dearest Jocasta, why have you sent for me? Jocasta, listen to this man, and when you hear, reflect, what is the outcome of the holy oracles of the gods? Oedipus, who is he? What is his message for me? Jocasta, he is from Cornan, and he tells us that your father Polybus is dead and gone. Oedipus, what's this you say, sir? Tell me yourself. Messenger, since this is the first matter you want clearly told, Polybus has gone down to death. You may be sure of it. Oedipus, by treachery or sickness? Messenger, a small thing will put old bodies asleep. Oedipus says, so he died of sickness, it seems? Poor old man. Messenger, yes, and of age. The long years he had measured. Oedipus says, ha ha, oh dear Jocasta, why would one look the Pythian Perth? Why should one look to the birds screaming overhead? They prophesied that I should kill my father, but he's dead and hidden deep in earth, and I stand here, who never laid a hand on a spear against him, unless perhaps he died of longing for me, unless I am his murderer. But they, the oracles, as they stand, he's taken them away with him. They're dead, as he himself is, and worthless. Jocasta. That I told you before doubt. What? Oedipus says, you did, but I was misled by my fear. But surely I must fear my mother's bed. Jocasta, why should man fear, since chance is all in all for him,
This
and
site runs out of money.
he can
Well,
clearly
that would be a
foreknow
crisis in
nothing.
its own right.
Best to live
Use the
lightly as
arrival
one
point to
can
open the
unthinkingly as to
Then
your
we can
mother's
get back to
marriage
work.
bed. But don't fear it. Before this, in dreams too, as well as oracles, many a man has lain with his own mother, but he to whom such things are nothing bears his life most easily. I don't know what she's saying.
Our client wants more species on
Oedipus says,
site.
all
This
that you
is a
say
non-negotiable part of our
would be
contract.
perfectly
Do whatever needs to be done to make
if
it happen.
she were dead, but since she
Could
lives,
you
and
lend
must
your
still fear,
guidance?
although you
Of
talk so well,
course.
Jocasta.
Building a
Then
new
Jocasta says,
apiary is
still
step
in your
one,
father's death
and
is
it's
light
crucial
of
to get
comfort.
right. The
Oedipus
proper
says, great light of
environment
comfort,
keeps
but I
these
fear the
animals
living.
happy enough to prevent
Messenger
escape
says,
attempts.
who is the woman that
When
makes
the
you afraid?
apiary is set
Oedipus
up,
says, Morrow,
then we can
old
look
man
into
Polybus's
bringing
wife.
live animals on site.
Messenger said,
I guess that's
what about her? What about her frightens the queen and you? Oedipus says, a terrible oracle, stranger from the gods. Messenger says, can it be told, or does the sacred law forbid another to have knowledge of it? Oedipus says, oh no, once on a time, Loxias said that I should lie with my own mother and take on my hands the blood of my own father, and so for these long years I've lived away from Corinth. It has been to my great happiness, but yet it's sweet to see the face of my parents. Messenger, this was the fear which drove you out of Corinth? Oedipus says, old man, I did not wish to kill my father. Messenger says, why would I not free you from this fear, sir, since I have come to you in a good will? Oedipus says, you would not find me thankless if you did. Messenger says, why, it was just for this I brought the news, to earn your thanks when you had come safe home. Oedipus says, no, I will not come near my parents.
Messenger says, son, it's very plain you don't know what you're doing. Oedipus says, what do you mean, old man? For God's sake, tell me. Messenger says, if your homecoming is checked by fears like these. Oedipus says, yes, I'm afraid that Phoebus may prove right. Messenger says, the murder and the incest? Oedipus says, yes, old man, that is my constant terror.
Another, moral of the story, because, old time stories always need a moral of the story.
Mm-hmm.
Another moral of the story for this is letting your fears control you so much that they become a reality.
Mm.
Because he literally
Changed his entire life based on what somebody else said was going to happen.
Yeah.
so
Who, Oedipus?
Huh?
Oedipus?
Yeah, he literally left his family that raised him because he was scared of what somebody else said. So, Messenger says, do you know that all your fears are empty? Oedipus says, how is that, if they're all father and mother and I their son? Messenger says, because Polybus was no kin to you in blood. The messenger is exposing something crazy right now.
What's he saying?
Basically saying that, I don't know why you're so scared. Those aren't your real parents. Everybody knows that, besides Oedipus.
He's trying to expose that. He's trying to expose that he knows that those are his real parents.
Aren't his real parents. In Corinth? He's like, why are you so scared to come back to Corinth? Those aren't even your real parents.
Okay.
Oedipus says, what, was not Polybus my father? Messenger says, no more than I, but just so much. Oedipus says, how can my father be my father as much as one that's nothing to me? Messenger says, neither he nor I begat you. Oedipus says, why then did he call me son? Messenger says, a gift he took you from these hands of mine. Oedipus says, did he love you so much that he took from another's hand? Messenger says, his childlessness before persuaded him. Oedipus says, was I a child you bought or found when I was given to him? Messenger says, on Kithaeron's slopes in the twisting thickets you were found. Oedipus says, and why were you a traveler in those parts? Basically, the messenger is revealing that he's the one who found Oedipus lying in the Kithaeron's grass, and he brought him to the king of that country. Oedipus says, and why were you a traveler in those parts? Messenger says, I was in charge of Mountain Fox. Oedipus says, you were a shepherd, a yearling vagrant? Messenger says, yes, but at least at that time, the man that saved your life, son. Oedipus says, what ailed me when you took me in your arms? Messenger says, in that your ankles should be witness. Because his ankles were pain.
Yeah.
Oedipus says, why do you speak of that old pain? Messenger says, I loosed you. I loosed you. The tendons on your feet were pierced and fettered. Oedipus says, my swaddling clothes brought me a rare disgrace. Messenger says, so that from this you're called your present name. Oedipus says, was this my father's doing, or my mother's? For God's sake, tell me. Messenger says, I don't know, but he who gave you to me has more knowledge than I. Oedipus says, you yourself did not find me then. You took me from someone else. Messenger says, yes, from another shepherd. Oedipus says, who was he? You know him well enough to tell? Messenger says, he was called Laius Man. Laius's man. Oedipus says, you mean the king who reigned here in the old days? Messenger says, yes, he was that man's shepherd. Oedipus says, he is alive, still so that I could see him. Messenger says, you who live here would know best. Oedipus says, do any of you here know of the shepherd whom he speaks about in town or in the fields? Tell me, it's time that this was found out once for all. The chorus says, I think he is none other than the peasant whom you have sought to see already, but Jocasta here can tell you best of that. Oedipus says, Jocasta, do you know about this man whom we have sent for? Is he the man that he mentions? Jocasta says, why ask of whom he spoke? Don't give it heed, nor try to keep in mind what has been said. It will be waste labor. I don't know why Jocasta is, not just piecing it together, but I don't know if she's, doing it on purpose, or if she's just actually that dumb. Oedipus says, which such clues I should not fail to bring my birth to light. Jocasta says, I beg you, do not hunt this out, I beg you. If you have any care for your own life, what I am suffering is enough. Oedipus says, keep up your heart, Jocasta, though I'm proved a slave. Thrice slave, and though my mother is thrice slave, you'll not be shown to be of lowly lineage. Jocasta says, oh, be persuaded by me, I entreat you, do not do this. Oedipus says, I will not be persuaded to let be the chance of finding out the whole thing clearly. Jocasta says, it is because I wish you well that I gave you this counsel, and it's the best counsel. Oedipus says, then the best counsel vexes me and has for some sense. Jocasta says, oh Oedipus, God help you, God keep you from the knowledge of who you are. Oedipus says, here's someone go and fetch the shepherd for me, and let her find her joy in her rich family. Jocasta says, oh Oedipus, unhappy Oedipus, this is all I can call you, and the last thing that I shall ever call you. Exit. The chorus says, why has the queen gone? Oedipus, in wild grief, rushing from us, I'm afraid that trouble will break out this silence. Oedipus says, break out what will. I, at least, shall be willing to see my ancestry through humble perhaps. She is ashamed of my low birth. for she has all a woman's high-flown pride, but I count myself a child of fortune, beneficent fortune, and I shall not be dishonored. She is the mother from whom I sprang, but amongst my brothers mark me, now as small, and now again as mighty. Such is my breeding, and I shall never prove so false to it, and not to find the secret of my birth. Basically, he's just saying, like, he thinks that Jocasta is upset because they now know that, she now knows that Oedipus was, like, not royalty, I guess, and
Okay.
not, like, as high of stature as they once thought he was, but obviously that's not why she's upset. She's upset because Oedipus keeps trying to push to figure this out.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's debated whether I think it's debated whether Jocasta knows already that Oedipus is her son.
Mm-hmm.
Or if she's just in such denial that she can't believe it.
Mm.
So I don't know. The chorus says, oh my god. Oh, sorry. Okay. Chorus says, Stroke, I am a prophet and wise of heart. You shall not fail, Kithaeron. By the limitless sky you shall not. To know at tomorrow's full moon that Oedipus honors you as native to him and mother and nurse at once, and that you are honored in dancing by us as finding favor and sight of our king. Apollo to whom we cry, find these kings pleasing. Anti-stroke. Who was it bore you, child? One of the long-limbed nymphs who lay with Pan, that father who treads the hills? Or was she a bride of Loxias, your mother? The grassy slopes. Are all of them dear to him? Or perhaps Kylene's king? Or the chance god that lives on the tops of the hills received you a gift from one of the Helicon nymphs with whom he mostly plays? Enter an old man led by Oedipus's servants. Oedipus, if someone like myself who never met him may make a guess, I think this is the herdsman whom we were seeking. His old age is consonant with the other, and besides the men who bring him I recognize as my own servants. You perhaps may better me in knowledge since you've seen the man before. Chorus, you can be sure I recognize him, for if life had ever an honest shepherd, this was he. Oedipus says, you, sir, from Corinth, I must ask you first, is this the man you spoke of? Messenger, this is he before your eyes. Oedipus says, old man, look here at me and tell me what I ask you. Were you ever a servant of King Laius? Herdsman, I was. No slave he bought but reared in his own house. Oedipus says, what did you do as work? How did you live? Herdsman says, most of my life was spent among the flocks. Oedipus says, in what part of the country did you live? Herdsman says, Kithaeron and the places near to it. Oedipus says, and somewhere there perhaps you knew this man? Herdsman says, what was his occupation? Who? Oedipus says, this man here. Have you had any dealings with him? Herdsman says, no, not such that I can quickly call to mind. Messenger says, that is no wonder, master, but I'll make him remember what he does not know, for I know that he well knows the country of Kithaeron, how he with 2 flocks, I with 1 kept company for 3 years, each year half a year, from spring to autumn time, and then when winter came I drove my flocks to our fold home again, and he to Laius' steedings. Well, I am right or not in what I said we did. Herdsman, you're right, although it's a long time ago. Messenger says, do you remember giving me a child to bring up as my foster child? Herdsman says, what's this? Why do you ask the question? Messenger says, look, old man, here he is. Here's the man who was that child. Herdsman says, death take you. Won't you hold your tongue? Oedipus says, no, do not find him fault with him, old man. Your words are more at fault than his. Herdsman says, oh, best of masters, how do I give offense? Oedipus says, when you refuse to speak about the child of whom he asks you. Herdsman says he speaks out of his ignorance without meaning. Oedipus says, if you will not talk to gratify me, you will talk with pain to urge you. Herdsman says, oh please, sir, don't hurt an old man, sir. Oedipus says to the servants, here, one of you twist his hands behind him. Herdsman says, why, God help me, why? What do you want to know? I don't recall this happening in the original play.
No.
Because I don't think it did happen in the original play. But essentially, he is questioning the herdsman that put Oedipus, like gave Oedipus away to the messenger. And the messenger is basically like, you gave me a child. I don't know why you can't remember giving me a child.
Yeah.
I guess maybe because it was a long time ago, but Oedipus is just getting angry and is getting angry at him for not remembering or maybe lying. So they're like hurting him now in order to get information out of him.
Yeah. Sounds like it's pretty intense.
Oedipus says, you gave a child to him, the child he asked you of. Herdsman says, I did. I wish I died the day I did. Oedipus says, you will unless you tell me truly. Herdsman says, and I'll die far worse if I should tell you. Oedipus says, this fellow is bent on more delays as it would seem. Herdsman says, oh no, I have told you that I gave it. Oedipus says, where did you get this child from? Was it your own, or did you get it from another? Herdsman says, not my own at all. I had it from someone. Oedipus says, one of these citizens, or from what house? Herdsman says, oh master, please, I beg you, master, please, don't ask me more. Oedipus says, you're a dead man if I ask you again. Herdsman says, it was one of the children of Laius. Oedipus says, a slave or born in wedlock? Herdsman says, oh God, I am on the brink of frightful speech. Oedipus says, and I of frightful hearing, but I must hear. Herdsman says, the child was called his child, but she within your wife would tell you best how all this was. Oedipus says, she gave it to you? Herdsman, yes, she did, my lord. Oedipus, to do what with it? Herdsman, make away with it. Oedipus said, she was so hard. She was so hard. Its mother? Herdsman, I, through fear of evil oracles. Oedipus, which? Herdsman, they said that he should kill his parents. Oedipus, how was it that you gave it to this old man? Herdsman, oh master, I pitied it and thought I could send it off to another country. And this man was from another country, but he saved it from the most terrible troubles. If you are the man he says you are, you're bred to misery. So basically, we figured out that Laius didn't give the child away, Jocasta did, and she basically said, please kill this child.
Oh.
She didn't want it to be like laid somewhere. No, she wanted it dead. Like she wanted him to kill it, but he felt too bad, so he ended up giving it away to the messenger.
Okay.
Oedipus, oh, they will all come out clearly. Light of the sun, let me look upon you no more after today. I, who first saw the light bred of a match, a curse in my living. With them I lived with, cursed in my killing. Everybody leaves but the chorus. Chorus says, Strophe, O generations of men, how I count you as equal with those who live not at all. What a man on earth wins more of happiness than a seeming and after that turning away. Oedipus, you are the pattern of this. Oedipus, you and your fate, luckless Oedipus, whom of all men I envy not at all. Antistrophe, inasmuch as he shot his bolt beyond the others and won the prize of happiness complete, O Zeus, and killed and reduced to naught to the hooked talon made of the riddling speech, standing a tower against death for my land. Hence he was called my king, and hence was honored the highest of all honors, and hence he ruled in the greatest city of Thebes. Strophe. But now whose tale is more miserable? Who is there lies with a savager fate, whose troubles so reversed his life as his? O Oedipus, the famous prince, for whom great had the same both as a father and son, sufficed for generation. How, oh how, have the furrows plowed by your father endured to bear you poor wretch and hold their peace so long? Antistrophe. Time, who sees all has found you out against your will, judges your marriage a curse.
There was a
begetter
fucking
and
ant on
begot.
my nose. What the fuck?
That's not good. That's really not good.
I really don't like ants.
What?
I really don't like ants. That's so gross.
Oh, that's not good.
I grabbed it and pinched it off me.
I don't know why we have so many. The traps are out.
I don't know, man.
I mean, it's a lot less than when I was killed the other day, because I was killed like 20 in a row.
That's good.
O child of Laius, would I have never seen you? I weep for you cry, a dirge of lamentation. To speak directly, I drew my breath from you at the first, and so now I lull my mouth to sleep with your name. Enter a second messenger. Second messenger says, "O princes, always honored by our country, what deeds you'll hear and what honors see, what grief you feel, if you, as true-born Thebans, care for the house of Lebaticus's son. Face nor Ister cannot purge this house, I think, with all the streams. Such things that hide such evil shortly will bring forth into light, whether they will or not, and troubles hurt the most when they prove self-inflicted." The chorus says, "What we had known before did not fall short, a bitter groaning's worth. What's more to tell?" Second messenger, shortest to hear and tell our glorious Queen Jocasta dead. So the second messenger just came in.
It said the queen is dead.
Jocasta's dead.
Jocasta's dead.
She killed herself.
Oh shit.
Chorus says, "Unhappy woman, how?" Second messenger, "By her own hand, the worst of what was done. You cannot know. You do not see the sight. Yet, in so far as I remember it, you'll hear the end of our unlucky queen when she came raging into the house, and she went straight to her marriage bed, tearing her hair with both her hands and crying upon Laius long dead. Do you remember, Laius, the night long past which bred a child for us to send you to your death and leave a mother making children with her son?" And then she groaned and cursed the bed in which she sought forth husband by her husband, children by her own children, an infamous double bond. How after that she died I did not know, for Oedipus distracted us from seeing. He burst upon us shouting, and we looked at him, to him, as he paced frantically around, begging us always, "Give me a sword, I say, to find this wife no wife, this mother's womb, this field a double sowing, whence I sprang and where I sowed my children." As he raved, some god showed him the way, none of us there. Bellowing terribly and led by some invisible guide, he rushed on the two doors, wrenching the hollow bolts out of their sockets. He charged inside. There he saw his wife hanging, the twisting rope around her neck. When he saw her, he cried out fearfully and caught the dangling noose. Then, as she lay, poor woman, on the ground, what happened after was terrible to see. He tore the brooches, the gold-chased brooches fastened her robe, away from her, and lifting them up high, dashed them on his own eyeballs, shrieking out such thing as, "They will never see the crime I have committed or had done upon me. Dark eyes now in the days to come look on forbidden faces, do not recognize those whom you long for with such imprecations." He struck his eyes again and yet again with the brooches, and the bleeding eyeballs gushed. He stained his beard, no sluggish oozing drops, but a black rain and bloody hail poured down. So it has broken, and not on one head, but troubles mixed for his husband and for wife. The fortune of the days gone was true, and good fortune, but today groans and destruction and death and shame of all ills can be named, not one is missing. So basically, Oedipus goes inside the house, he sees Jocasta hanging there, he takes the metal pieces from her robe and uses them to gouge out his eyes. Like, he just continuously stabs his eyes again and again and again and again.
Okay.
Because he's like, I don't want to see what I've done anymore, I guess. The chorus says, "Is he now in any ease from pain?" Second messenger, he shouts for someone to unbar the doors and show him to all the men of Thebes, his father's killer, his mother's. No, I cannot say the word. It is unholy, for he'll cast himself out of the land, he says, and not remain to bring a curse upon his house. The curse he called upon it in his proclamation, but he wants for strength, and some want to guide him. His sickness is too great to bear. You, too, will be shown that. The bolts are opening. Soon you will see a sight to awaken pity, even in the horror of it. Enter the blinded Oedipus. The chorus says, "This is terrible sight for men to see. I never found a worse." Poor wretch, what madness came upon you? What evil spirit leaped upon your life? To your ill luck a leap beyond man's strength. Indeed, I pity you, but I cannot look at you. Though there is much I want to ask, and much to learn, and much to see, I shudder at the sight of you. Oedipus, oh, where am I going? Where is my voice? Borne on the wind to and fro. Spirit, how far have you sprung? Chorus, to a terrible place whereof men's ears may not hear, nor their eyes behold it. Oedipus, darkness, horror of darkness, enfolding, resistless, unspeakable, vigilant, sped by an ill wind in haste. Madness and stabbing pain in memory of evil deeds I have done. Chorus, in such misfortunes, it's no wonder if double weights the burden of your grief. Oedipus, my friend, you are the only steadfast, the one that attends on me. You still stay nursing the blind man. Your care is not unnoticed. I can know your voice, although the darkness in my world. Chorus, doer of dreadful deeds, how did you dare so far to do despite to your own eyes? What spirit urged you to do it? Oedipus, it was Apollo, friends, Apollo, that brought this bitterness, my sorrows to completion. But the hand that struck me was none but my own. Why should I see, who shewed me nothing sweet to see? Chorus, these things are as you say, Oedipus. What can I see to love? What greetings can touch my ears with joy? Take me away in haste to a place out of the way. Take me away, my friends, the greatly miserable, the most accursed, whom God too hates above all men on earth. Chorus, unhappy in your mind and your misfortune, I have never known you. Oedipus, curse on the man who took the cruel bonds from my legs. As I lay in the field, he stole me from death and saved me. No kindly service. Had I died then, I would not be so burdensome to friends. Chorus, I too could have wished it had been so. Oedipus, then I would have not come to kill my father and marry my mother infamously. Now I am godless and child of impurity, begetter in the same seed that created my wretched self. If there is any ill worse than ill, that is the lot of Oedipus. Basically, he's saying, like, if I would have just died then, I would have created so many burdens now.
Yeah.
The chorus says, I cannot say your remedy was good. You would be better dead than blind and living. Oh, shit. It says, what I have done here was the best done. Don't tell me otherwise. Do not give me further counsel. I do not know with what eyes I could look upon my father when I die and go under the earth, nor yet my wretched mother, those to whom I have done things deserving worse punishment than hanging. Would the sight of children bred as mine are gladden me? No, not these eyes, never. In my city it towers in sacred places of the gods. Of these I robbed my miserable self when I commanded all to drive him out. The criminal sense proved by God impure, and all the race of liars. To this guilt I bore witness against myself. With what eyes shall I look upon my people? No. If there was a means to choke the fountain of hearing, I would not have stayed my hand from walking up my miserable carcass. Seeing and hearing nothing, it is sweet to keep your thoughts out of the range of heart. Kithaeron, why did you receive me? Why, having received me, did you not kill me straight? And so I had not shown to mend my birth. O Polybus and Corinth and the house, the old house that I used to call my father's. What fairness you were nursed to, and what foulness festered beneath. Now I am found to be a sinner and a son of sinners. Crossroads are in Hidden Glade, oak in the narrow way, at the crossroads that drank my father's blood, offered you by my hands. You remember still what I did as you looked on, and what I did when I came here? Oh, marriage, marriage, you bred me, and again, when you had bred children of your child, showed to men, brides, wives, and mothers, and the foulest deeds that can be in this world of yours. Come, it's unfit to say what isn't fit to do. I beg of you, in God's name, hide me somewhere outside your country, yes, or kill me, or throw me into the sea to be forever out of your sight. Approach and design to touch me for all of my wretchedness, and do not fear no man, but I can bear my evil doom. Horace says, here Creon comes in, fit time to perform or give advice in what you ask of us. Creon is left as sole ruler in your stead. Oedipus, Creon, Creon, what shall I say to him? How can I justly hope that he will trust me? In what is past I have been proved towards him an utter liar. Enter Creon. Creon, Oedipus, I've come not so that I might laugh at you nor taunt you with the evil of the past, but if you still are without shame before the face of men, reverence at least this flame that gives all life, other Lord the sun, and do not show unveiled to him pollutions such that neither land nor holy rain nor light of day can welcome. Then he says to a servant, be quick and take him in. It is most decent that only kin should see and hear the troubles of kin. Oedipus says, I beg you, since you've torn me from my dreadful expectations and have come in a most noble spirit to a man that has used you vilely, do a thing for me. I shall speak for your own good, not for my own. Creon, what do you need that you would ask of me? Oedipus, drive me from here with all the speed you can, where I may not hear a human voice. Creon, be sure I would have done this. Not, I wished first of all to learn from the god the course of action I should follow. Oedipus, but his word has been quite clear, to let the parricide, the sinner, die. Creon, yes, that indeed was said, but in the present need we have best discover what we should do. Oedipus, and will you ask about a man so wretched? Creon, now even you will trust the god. Oedipus, so I command you, and will beseech you, to her that lies inside the house give burial as you would have it. She is yours in right. Will you perform the rites for her, for me? Never let this, my family city, have living a dweller in it.
You're still going.
Yes! 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 I don't want to.
It must be really long.
I'm almost done though. There's a page. There's a page left.
Oh my god, it's horrible. I need a drink. Leave me live in the mountains where Kithaeron is, that calls my mountain, which my mother and father, while they were living, would have made my tomb, so I may die by their decree, who sought indeed to kill me. Yet I know this much: no sickness and no other thing will kill me. I will not have been saved from death, if not for some strange evil fate. Will let my fate go where it will. Creon, you need not care about my sons. They are men, and so wherever they are, they will not lack a livelihood. But my two girls, so sad and pitiful, whose table never stood apart from mine, and everything I touched they always shared. O Creon, have a thought for them. And most, I wish that you might suffer me to touch them and sorrow with them. So then his daughters come on the stage. Oh my lord, O true noble Creon, can I really be touching them? As when I saw, what shall I say? Yes, I can hear them sobbing, my two darlings, and Creon has had pity and sent me what I love most. Am I right? So basically, I don't know, they have to just include some sexism, I guess. Basically, he's like, I got sons, but they're fine. They'll be fine. But my two daughters, they won't be able to live without me. What a guy. Creon says, you're right, it was. I gave you this because I knew from old days how you loved them, as I see now.
Kill me. Okay. Oedipus says, God bless you for it, Creon, and may God guard you better on your road that he did mine. O children, where are you? Come here, come to my hands, a brother's hands, which turn your father's eyes. Those bright eyes you knew once of what you see, a father seeing nothing, knowing nothing, begetting you from his own source of life. I weep for you. I cannot see your faces. I weep when I think of the bitterness there will be in your lives, how you must live before the world, at what assemblages, gay company will you go, and not come home in tears instead of sharing in the holiday. And when you're ripe for marriage, you will be. Who will he be, the man who risked to take such infamy, as shall cling to my children to bring hurt on them, and those that marry with them? What curse is not there?
Yellow. Sorry.
Your father killed his father and sowed the seed where he had sprung himself, and begot you out of the womb that held him. These insults you will hear. Then who will marry you? No one, my children. Clearly you are doomed to waste away in barrenness, unmarried, son of Menetosis. Since you are all the father who left these two girls, and we, their parents, both and dread them, do not allow them wander like beggars, poor and husbandless. They are now of your own blood, and do not make them equal with myself in wretchedness. For you can see them now, so young, so utterly alone, save you only. Touch my hand, noble Creon, and say yes. If you are older, children, and wiser, there's much advice I give you. But as it is, let this be what you pray. Give me a life whether there's opportunity to live, and better than was my father's. So basically he's saying that he's worried that his daughters will never be able to get a husband, because the infamy behind their father is so bad. And then he's basically asking Creon, like, please will you just give them a good life? But good life meaning, like, will you be able to find them a husband? Because they have to include that for some reason.
Yeah.
Creon says, your tears have had enough of scope. No go within the house. Oedipus, I must obey, though bitter of heart. Creon, in season all is good. Oedipus, do you know on what conditions I obey? Creon, you tell me them, and I shall know them when I hear. Oedipus, that you shall send me out to live away from Thebes. Creon, thy gift you must ask of the gods. Oedipus, but I'm now hated by the gods. Creon, so quickly you'll obtain your prayer. Oedipus, you consent then? Creon, what I do not mean, I do not use to say. Oedipus, now lead me away from here. Creon, let go the children then, and come. Oedipus, do not take them from me. Creon, do not seek to be master in everything, for the things you mastered did not follow you throughout your life. Creon and Oedipus leave. The chorus says, you that live in my ancestral deed, behold this. Oedipus, him who knew the famous riddles and was a man most masterful, not a citizen who did not look with envy on his lot. See him now, and see the breakers in misfortune swallow him. Look upon the last day always. Count no mortal happy till he pass the final limit of his life, secure from pain.
But, I confess, the clients will be happy. The red tape is down, but the land still needs to be paid for. We should generate enough funds to make this happen.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, basically at the end, he's like, alright, well, we gotta get you out of here, but you gotta, like, let go of your daughters. And then they leave. And he's gone.
Okay. So is it, and at the end, is he just like, what is he doing at the end? He just finished gouging out his eyes.
What are you talking about? What do you mean?
Where is he with his daughters? Like, when his daughters are there? Like, what's he looking like?
He's, like, probably on his knees in front of his house, talking to Creon.
Dr. Valdera, I assume your research applies to flying reptiles as well.
In science, we don't assume. We postulate, hypothesize, we test.
Aren't those just very fancy words for guess?
Okay, so I've studied flying reptiles a little less. Not so big on heights, but the principles are very much the same. Our flyers would need nests if we're going to encourage their natural wild behaviors.
becoming more impressive by the day. But increasing diversity within our population would provide both scientific and entertainment value. That should be our next target. I've been reaching out to potential clients and have now had all the responses I wanted. The news is, well, I think you'll be as pleased and pleasantly surprised as I am. But let's talk about this with a map in front of us.
East Asia. Vast, mysterious. And of course, bed of so much discovery and history. Progress. But you know it's a complex. That intercontinental chaos will have another fascinating variable. Yeah. What could possibly be?
Certainly nothing that we can't handle. Allow me to cooperate. In Indonesia, there are rivers and seas and local dinosaur populations. We are tasked with developing a facility to monitor and handle any outbreaks. Conservation-minded clients in China have asked for our help in creating a spacious sanctuary for prehistoric giants. And there's a park in Japan that is voluntary. We believe that is working further and making success in what it needs to be. All really cite your significant, both in the importance of the work and in your benefit to our global reputation. These clients expect a lot of us. We must not disappoint.
I need to go downstairs too. Where are you going?
I'm gonna see you inside.
Why are you going downstairs?
I don't know. Oh, I unlocked 3 more places.
Can you take that cup?
Yeah.
Fill it with more Dr. Paper.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna pee first before.
I got China, Indonesia, and Japan.